I suppose we better get ready, haven't we, Shelley Dwellies? Yeah, you being sensible today, are you? Yeah, first time in a long time. Yeah, you're good, you're happy. Can I start now? Yeah, is that okay? Sure. Don't you give me the side eye. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Hello, 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 hello. Greeting, welcome. Sammy! Oh dear. How are we all this week? I say we all. Sam. I'm sure other people will turn up at some point. Oh, hope it's been a good week. You've been safe. Uh, everything's gone well. That's pretty much. Oh, pardon me. Oh, millionaire shortcake. That's not good. Good flavour. Second time round. Yeah. So what have I been up to? Well, work. And the usual kind of workplace dramas. I've had a few days off, so bit of chilling, bit of illing, rescape and redo of the shrimp tank, finish off redoing the Nanakara tank, sold a bunch of placos today. Yeah, all in all a good week. Weather is acting British, rainy and poopy, and I can't play fetch with the dog. Well, you can, you'll just get wet doing it. Yeah. No such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothes. The mad mower himself. How you doing, Tom? With Grandma at her friend's 70th. Everyone's got a wheelchair. Getting scared. And it comes to all of us, Tom. Comes to all of us. Just think of it as a lawnmower without blades, and you'll be all right. Somehow I can imagine you doing that. Getting to that age and just riding around on a lawnmower without the blades on it. Yeah, 70th. Oh, God, I've got another 21 years till I get there. I might be able to retire by then. Doubtful. Probably keep putting the retirement age up every time I get near it. I seem to. When I left school, it was 65, and now it's 68, I think. Exactly. 70th wedding anniversary, so close to 90 then. Wow. Imagine being able to put up with someone for 70 years. I can't even put up with myself for that long. I'd end up murdering myself, I think. Oh, is it too close to the start of the stream to start using those kind of words? Like I'm gonna worry about it. Yeah. I mean, kudos to those that manage to have, platinum anniversaries and things like that, gold, silver, whatever they happen to be. So well done to them, especially if they're living together, because I'm really not easy to live with. I need lots of me time, well, which I mean about 16 hours a day usually. Barely live with the fish and the cat. And they're a lot shorter lived than humans. Well, you know, than some humans. I'm sure all aware of the killdozer thing. If I ever hear about someone going postal in Florida on a mower, an armored lawn mower, I'll know who it is. Too early for a dead baby joke. Not in chat. I've probably heard most of them. I might even have made some of them up. I've got one for you. What if dogs don't like belly rubs? They just like having their nipples played with. Let's just let that one marinate a bit. How do you stop a dog from humping your leg? Cut your leg off. Or give it a baby. Or kick it in the nuts. We just learn to enjoy it. Or hump the dog. See how the dog likes it. Yeah, I was trying to find a different one to that particular tag or punchline. Been a long time since I picked up a dog though. That was one of my exes. Oh dear. Yeah. So yes, fishy stuffs. So yes, I did the reshapes, the redos. Though I was wondering if the shrimp tank was suffering from old tank syndrome, and so I thought a bit of a redo, thinning out of some of the plants in there. Oh, pardon me. Well, the two plants, one of which was just one giant plant that I had to chop into bits. Oh, Sam's getting rid of his joke. Oh, he's feeling bad about it. Now, I think I've decided I'm going to move on the last half dozen shell dwellers and then figure out what we can put in a tank that is just sand and rocks. So it'll probably be something Rift Lakey. Shut down the shrimp tank this morning. 29 weren't breeding like they should. Mine kind of stopped. I mean, they still breed, but there's not the numbers there. I found a strange bug thing in the substrate, probably eating the babies. Quite likely. Pretty much everything eats baby shrimp. Howdy, Rainer. Squire of seahorses, or even the Sultan of seahorses. I'm going to find something that goes with the Habsburg of something or other, but yeah, it might be a bit offensive. But the blues of the blacks don't attack me. Shrimp a shrimp. Mine started out as reds, now I've got blues, blacks, mostly wilds, some reds, greens, yellows, oranges. Skittles. Why people get so anal about shrimp colours, I have no idea. All my shrimp are food. Most yours are brine. At this point, I'm pretty sure I've probably got a shrimp colony in my pond outside. Howdy, Jane. How you doing? But yeah, it's a interesting one. Like the clothes, you put the darks of the darks and the lights in a separate pile. You just put them all in one. You know, it starts with the clothes, and the next thing you know, it ends in racial segregation. Howdy, Mr. Mertonker. How you diddling? Yeah, so what I'm probably going to do also, probably also going to do is take the scrimpies out of the tank that's just down there, which has been like an overflow for the shrimp that I find randomly when I'm doing water changes that have been in the filter or something. I'm going to add them back into the shrimp tank. Hello, Debs. How are you, my darling? How do you get lives to show up on the Fish Fan page? I think basically you just ask Matt. You sort of flirt with him a bit, and then you're in. Worked for me. Assuming my lives do show up on the Fish Fan page. Yeah, so we're going to do that. Then we've got to figure out something for. Picked up my habit, overrun with plecos. There's no such thing as too many plecos. And if you know where their cave is, and you can aim said cave so it's pointing in a direction that you can see into it, you might need to use a flashlight. But if you've got more than you can deal with, don't feel bad about scraping out the eggs and just either freezing them or actually just throwing them in the bin or feeding them to another fish. Green dragons, snow dragons, short and long fit. Yeah, there's definitely no such thing as too many of them. I mean, you might tank the price of them. Have an apple tart that I wish to consume today, but currently it's too early. It's not too early. You can have tart for breakfast. And I don't mean that in the other meaning of the word tart. You can have one of those for breakfast as well if you like, but what you do in the comfort of your own home when no one else is aware, it doesn't matter. Because I've been known to have a can of energy drink just before bed. Exactly. Believe Debs. Debs knows all. Yeah, so it's case of figuring out what new fisheries to get. So I'm going to be moving on the Shelleys because, well, they've stopped breeding completely. And there doesn't appear to be anyone else locally that has similar, so I can't add more to the stock pot, as it were, and make more. Um, so either move them on and get some multis, basically the same fish, or go for maybe some Brichardis, the angel cichlid, or one of the smaller species of Julidochromis. 2 or 3 of those and add a bit more rock in there and see if we can get them doing breedies. The Splendens are doing okay, and I'm going to have the Panda Cories going with them soon. We're going to need, basically going to need something for both the 57-gallon flexes and probably 57-gallon, 57-litre, 15-gallon. Probably something for the 10-gallon Panorama. Because I don't think Mr. Cara is long for this world at the moment. His colour's gone very dark compared to the usual. He used to be basically the same colour as the electric blue Cara. But yeah, since Missy Cara's gone, he's lost all his colour. He's gone very black. And I've broken a nail, and it's very annoying. So yeah, plenty to think about fish-wise. Which is why I'm glad to have sold some more plecklets, because there aren't a huge amount left in the cloudy mess up there. It's all right, just a bacterial bloom, don't panic. So there's a slight bacterial bloom going on in there. That's just stirred up muck. And the greenery you can see is what I call offcuts of Anubias. So yeah, I'm going to have a free tank, so I'll be able to do quarantine again quite easily. So yeah, what do I go with? What do I sort first? And it's probably going to be down to what fish I find first. Let's be honest, if I find something that makes me go, ooh, shiny, me wanty, it's probably going to win. Be a case of buy it and then figure out. I've not got any snow white bristlies. No, I've got common lemon blue eye, a lemon blue eye, a leucistic lemon blue eye, and super reds. Hello, Marit, my love. How are you? Mwah. Always good to see your beautiful face. That's really bugging me. I'm going to have to do something about that nail. Yeah, I mean, snow whites are on the list of plecos that I would like. Oh, not again. Are you patient zero or something? Oh dear. It's all these strange men you keep seeing. At this point, not even mad. It's oh, not again. Just engage coronavirus mode. Got muddy, so brown with yellow or red and albino. It all depends how they come out. If they come out part one colour and part common colour, and they'll be calicos. Permanent thing. At this point, I think you've just got long COVID and it just keeps coming back every so often just to remind you it's there, to be honest. You had it so many blimmin' times. So I had it the once, and that's plenty enough. Thank you very much. I mean, touch wood. Snow dragons hoping snow. Yeah, they should do. Yeah, I've lost count. Sam's had it twice. Well, are you just the source of the antibodies that they use for the virus vaccine now, Marrett? Is that it? Willie, good to see you too, sir. Good looking. I've never been good looking. I've always looked like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Willie Mac. Is that what they call a hot dog at McDonald's? Oh dear. Yeah, I think a lot of people have had it more than the once, more than they realise. I mean, it was one thing when the tests were free in the UK. It was just like, don't feel too great. I'm going to get a COVID test. But now, don't know how much they are. You stay in bed, Marrett. You have some fun in bed. Well, sleep, feel rough, grumble, moan. Not in a good way. Um, don't have the energy. Yeah, that was probably the worst bit of it for me when I had it. Was just no energy whatsoever. I think I spent about 3 or 4 days just laying down. At one point, I was wondering whether to get some airline and just stick that in a bottle of Coke. Like $10 here. But, I think they are £10 or £15 now. But yeah, it's a case of people, it's generally mutated and calmed itself down now, so it's not as bad as it was. Um, Generally, obviously, some people get affected by it more than others. given the amount of people who are in hospital with it at the moment. Yeah, I just got lucky, I guess. So, I mean, I, I deal with the public, and I work with people that deal with the public. So I should be in one of the highest risks of getting it groups, but thankfully, so I caught it once, and that was from Mary, and she caught it from her daughter. So, and the only reason I got it from Mary is because she didn't realise she was ill when we did the thing. There's the old strand or the new one. Having all the tanks. Thank you very much, Willie. So those ones over there are just fry tanks. They're not display or anything. Oh yeah, we've done away with all the masks and the quarantinings and everything over here. Everyone just carries on as normal, pretty much like they did during COVID. To be honest, I think the powers that be just gave up. It's like, well, they won't do something simple for themselves. Yeah, I've never seen so many people complain about having a small piece of cloth over their face. And then when the weather got cold, they all got scarves wrapped up and all sorts, right up over their face to keep their face warm. Do you realise that's a lot harder to breathe through than a COVID mask was? Just saying. Look down the QT time in a fish shop. Another wore a mask. Boss said he'd cover the fine if we got one. Yeah, I mean, we had to wear one at work, which, again, because I deal with the public, and at the time I was dealing with members of the public who were quite a lot of the time rather drunk and awkward, belligerent, and truculent. It meant I could have the mask on and I could swear under my breath at them, and they couldn't see what I was mouthing. Need to eat, don't have the energy to get out of bed. That's how I know the virus. Um, yeah, it's not as simple as getting a bottle, is it? Just peeing in a bottle. So unfortunately, you're either going to have to get up and have a wee, or you're going to wee the bed. It's one of them two. And if you wee the bed, you then got to change the sheets, and that's a nightmare, even when you're not feeling ill. The pattern comes in. Exactly. Yeah, that was the other problem with the COVID lockdowns, is I didn't see Mary for 3 months. Bottle, 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 better than bottle of water. Thank you. Yeah, I've been on the pipe for a while. It just saves rolling ciggies so regularly, and the backie's cheaper. Yeah. Well, if I was single, Marriott, but I'm not. Partners in crime, exactly. We haven't got up to any shenanigans lately either, have we? Um, yeah. So Lots of fishy things to be thinking about, what to do, what to get, what not to get. Yeah. And the main reason I want to empty that one out is because you might not be able to see, but the water level is just about there. Because if I fill it any further, it comes out over the top. New fishies too. Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with being single. Looking for a legend. Oh, there is a legend and he's missing. Don't have money for it. Oh, bless you. You're going to have to start that OnlyFans up, aren't you? I know what will make you feel better. That's how I know you're real. This is how we know Marek is feeling under the weather. But she hasn't told me off yet. Look out, modelly things. Out the way. Shift frostbang. Shift boogery thing. There. Before Marek does tell me off. Yeah. Yes. He's not grumpy, he's judgmental. He just doesn't like people. Didn't like people. But yeah, the old models still got the cave set up, still got all the gear. And maybe once I get a new set of glasses, I might start thinking about it. But with the fish, the biking, I want to get the garden sorted this year. It's not going to leave a huge amount of time for sticking bits of plastic together and wiping paint on them. Well, I did build a Gundam over Christmas, if that's any. Yeah, doesn't really count, I suppose. Clip the bits off and snap them together. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You get a completely different reaction to smoking a pipe in public. I mean, yay for getting the ashes back, boo for poor old Puddy Cat. I'm sure she's there with you, giving you snuggles, trying to help you feel better. Because we both know that's what cats do. You see, what you need to do, Raina, is find a lady friend who likes fishies just as much as you do. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does feel good to have her back. Yeah, I mean, when I first met Mary, I didn't keep fish. Yeah, mermaid. I mean, there's a couple of bits missing on a mermaid that are quite fun. Yeah, so when I met Mary, I was just building scale models, and she was completely fine with that. I mean, hell, she's buying me model kits. You know, with the fish head. Yeah. Each to their own, I guess. That'd be a maid mer, wouldn't it? I think. And then, so I got my first fish tank, and Mary was fully behind it. And hell, she even bought me a fish tank, crying out loud. And yeah, she's fully behind it. She enjoys looking at the fishies, talking about fishies. going out and looking at fishies in shops. She'll sit there and have a conversation with them. Fish food in bulk, yeah. It's one of my kind of guaranteed birthday and Christmas presents. Bag of algae wafers. Oh, and I am gradually working my way through that monster sack of flake. It's taking a while, but it's gradually going down. Yes, Mary's awesome. The Wild Mary, who does appear in some of my recent videos, actually in a speaking role. And in a near puking role at one point. Not going out to the shop for fish. Yeah, I mean, I have ordered shrimp online before, but I'm very reticent to order fish online, especially considering how much the postage costs these days. Yes, Mary speaks in a couple of my videos. One's from Gresson Hall. Gressingham? Yeah, Gresson Hall. Shop usually with the wholesaler. Oh, I pretty much am the wholesaler around here. Especially if I buy from my LFS, I get preferential rates on what I buy, shall we say. Generally because he knows that I will probably breed them and he will get the babies. So it makes sense to sell me them cheaper and then get more of them for less in the long run. She doesn't run the opposite. She normally tries to stay out of shot and out of videos. She doesn't like being on camera, bless her. And she's somewhat nervous about her accent because she's a Suffolk girl, so she does sound a bit Suffolk. Not proper broad Suffolk. I mean, she doesn't say going, she does say gone. Yeah, so Wild Mary in the background. Not allowed to order seahorses. The shop I used to work in got from me. Oh, and Sam's finding balls under the cabinet. Very happy doggo. And yes, so the Wild Mary. She does seem to turn up in a lot of graveyards, doesn't she? It's becoming a theme. I've been in a lot of churches with her as well. Yeah, that's kind of scary thought. The amount of times I've been in churches with Mary, walking down the aisle. It's only a matter of time, really, I guess, before some vicar comes up with, "Oh, are you looking to have a marriage?" No, nope, and not in the church either. We've talked about it, and neither of us wants a ring. Well, not that kind of ring, anyway. There's surprise, not a surprise, upload video from the 17-month-old pup. Yay, doggos! puppers, wooflets, floofers. Pippa had a haircut yesterday as well, so that's why the weather's got cold again here. And so see her tomorrow for her walk, and she'll be very, very small compared to how she was, with the excess floof removed. Hopefully the excess stench and staining. 44 kilos, about 90 pound. Yeah, she a big doggo. Lots of floof to snuggle and fuss and cuddle and feed and pick up after. That is the one good thing about a small dog. When you take them for a walk and you got to get the old bag, it's a lot easier to pick up when they're little. I mean, I'd hate to think of picking up behind a Great Dane. Oh, geez. Probably put me to shame. Yes, and what kind of doggo? Oh. Now, are we going with Cane Corso or Kanye Corso? But yeah, big, soft, slobbery floofer is also what I would say. But they're big and aggressive and scary. No, they're not. They're big and soft and floppy. Autocorrect doesn't like me. Yeah, autocorrect doesn't like anyone. Yeah, I think it's got an accent on the E, so it's pronounced differently, but my Northern Italian isn't exactly fluent, shall we say. Your virus protection has ended. Yes, I know. Our dog mixed between a Staffy and a pit bull. So, solid lump of muscle that is just going to lick you to death. That's my general experience of Staffages and pit bulls. They just want to lick you to death. But then that's ones with owners that have trained them correctly and haven't abused them. They're just very friendly, like any other big dog. These are big, soft, floofy, floppy, licky friends. It's the little dogs you got to watch out for. I've been bitten far more often by little terriers. Well, I've been bitten by little terriers and I've been bitten by a big dog. I've had big dogs put my hand in their mouth and just sort of chew on it a bit. But that's not an aggressive thing. That's just them checking me out. I'm like, oh, you're not freaking out. Oh, cool. Friend. What is my opinion on the salute Elon Musk did? Well, it was wrong. However, how do I word this? I don't believe he intended it as what it was. Dad! Right, Andrew. That's how it's got, has it? Because if I start calling Donna Mum, I'm going to get in trouble. She's not old enough. Is he autistic enough to get away with it? It's not. And here's where I'm probably going to get myself in trouble. Because if he'd just done that and then put his hand out with a closed fist, it would have just been, yeah, we're together. I'm with you in this. Right? Which, because he's not an absolute moron. I mean, he's not the brightest, but he's not an absolute moron. So I think he probably just got a bit carried away. However, he should know that you do not make that salute, even by accident. The fact that he then, did it 2 or 3 times does make it worse. But yeah, I'm not going to, I'm much as, I am anti-Trumpenführer, it's, yeah. And there's plenty enough to hate Elon Musk about already. Learned after, it's the idiot at the other end of the lead that's the problem. Learned after I had Belgian Shepherd, Austrian mix, wanted something friendly, and sit there pushing me to play all day. Yes. Well, yeah, Shepherds are, they've been bred for a certain reason. So smartly turned dumb. There is that, yeah. Like an infinity loop. He's just got so far around, he's gone back the other end again. Or he believes his own BS. Because that's the thing that still doesn't. Malinois, yeah, that's the one. Belgian Shepherd. The ones that think they're birds because they try and fly all the time. The guy that is most famous, other than for silly spaceships or rockets, most famous for the mass production of electric vehicles or electric cars, has decided to join up with the guy most famous for loving oil. Now, if you get the price of oil down, which I'm not going to say he's going to do because he's not, he's got the understanding of economics of a flipping bristlenose. If the price of oil comes down, then Elon loses money because people aren't going to buy electric cars anymore. That's the only real reason to buy an electric car, is that it's cheaper long term to fill them up with electric than it is fuel for certain things. Now, if you live in a city or something, Belgian Reveron, the original Belgian Shepherd, the mortar is just a workline Shepherd. Tavern, yep. Yeah. Auto carrot is hating you today, Rainer. Yeah, it's the whole thing has just got me very confused. Tesla, the car of the people, is the Volkswagen. Oh, that does draw a parallel, doesn't it? One that we probably shouldn't keep away from the news. It's idiots all over. Yeah, pretty much. Yes. People that don't understand, if you impose a tariff on another country, you're the one paying for it. But if you, If you impose a tariff on imports, you pay for it. If you impose a tariff on exports, they go elsewhere to get it. Let's just say I'm Canadian, aboot. So if something costs, say I'm Canadian and I run a business making stuffs, whatever it happens to be, and I've been getting supplies from America, and whatever I'm buying costs $100. So if there's a 25% tariff on that, that means that thing now costs $125. Now, what am I going to do? Am I going to just go, oh, I have to pay extra for it? Or am I going to see if I can source that somewhere else cheaper? Because if I can source it from another country for $120, I'm going to. And what does that mean? That means that the money doesn't go into the US economy, it goes into that other country's economy. And if I import the finished good into America, the Americans end up paying more for it as well. Yeah, tariffs are great. Despite the fact that, the World Trade Organization, or whatever it's called, are now investigating that. What does the US produce besides oil and guns? Memes. At this point, that is probably the biggest export from the US. Memes. But yes, this is what soldiers. Yeah, true, they do export quite a lot of them. And they don't do much when they get where they're going. Make a lot of noise and need about 100 times as many of them to do the job as you should actually need. Yeah, they usually bring the guns with them. And then in the case of Afghanistan, leave most of them behind when they leave at very short notice. But the last 10 songs that you listen to, at least half are American. Let me see, what did I listen to this morning? Nightwish, Winter Sun, Arian. So that's Finnish, Dutch, Epica, also Dutch. What else do I listen to lately? The Specials, English. The Cure, English. The Smiths, English. There's probably more than one song from each of them, so none of them are American. And I haven't seen a movie for years. And I don't watch TV. So, yeah, there are a few. I mean, yeah. I do tend to, not so much recently, but when I was heavily into watching movies, I started getting into Spanish and Korean movies because they were more interesting. yeah, music and movies as yeah, they're big money and technically exports, but don't really count towards trade. It's entertainment, which is a completely different kettle of fish to trade. And probably of most of that music, most of it was either made on European or Japanese instruments. Or, or an American brand that is now made in either Mexico or China. Bender. Yeah, a lot of animated stuff, maybe written by American but made by an Asian. Probably written by an Asian and then translated into English by an American, I'd have thought. Um, but yeah, speaking of which, I saw my first furry in the wild today. They weren't wearing a full fursuit, but they had the ears and the tail. And it made me wonder. Now, like you see someone with a dog, you go up and you give the dog a fuss. You know, if the dog's friendly and they give doggo a fuss. What about a furry? Because if they identify as a dog or a cat, and you'd normally go up to an animal like that and give it fusses, are you allowed to scratch a furry behind the ears or rub its belly? Their belly, sorry, not its. How crude of me. I actually didn't mean to say that, but what is the protocol for interacting with a furry? Do you call them a good boy or a good girl? Give them a fuss? See that every day. 6 foot something bald dude wearing cat ears and tail. And you're in California. I mean, I can understand in Florida. Thing is, this was a relatively young girl, I'm going to say. Out with the family. And if you run over a cat furry, do you have to report it? You have to report it if you run over a dog, but you don't have to report it if you run over a cat. If that person identifies as a cat and you run them over, do you have to report it to the police? Or can you just carry on driving? These are the sort of thoughts I have when I'm sitting in the bath. I'm trying to fall asleep at night. I'm not knocking them, each to their own. And if that's what makes them happy, go for it. They're not hurting anyone. So I'd rather people wander around in fursuits and had furse owners than went around molesting children, for example. You know, because at this point, isn't Catholic priest just a cosplay? Let's be honest. Oh dear, we're getting into some dark territories here, aren't we? Terms alpha and sigma are only applicable to the animal furry community, which is ironic since it's been disproved that alpha and sigma and stuff is actually a thing in the animal world. And it comes with problems with trust principles in traffic. It's probably best. I mean, I'd probably, if I ran over a cat, I'd pull over and see if it had any mark, and a collar with a tag on it. Or I mean, if I ran over any animal, I'd at least check and see if it was needing putting out of its misery, as it were. Would that be seen as an act of mercy or murder? That's the question. Or are we talking semantics? It's just one of them things my brain thinks about from time to time. You run over a cat in reverse. No. Cats are our friends. Of all the cats that live around here, there is only one I'm not friends with. And that's because I saw it attack one of my friend cats. So there's Simone, otherwise known as Fat Cat, Pumpkin, Ginge, Blackie Cat, Rory, Maisie, Tiger, Tripod, Tripod's brother. Friends with all of them. It's just Ginger Balls. Ginger Balls got moved in and started causing trouble. Everyone was all the cats were peaceful, getting on with each other. They were like, "Yeah, this is my area. This is your area." Don't like cats, but don't want to die. Don't like TikTok, but I don't want it banned. Yeah, this is it. If you like any social media, if you don't want to take part in it, just don't download it. It's that simple. When I got my new phone, I've had it donkey's years now. I was sitting in the shop, the shop where mobile phone company in the UK, and just got it sorted and set up. And as they do, they're going through showing you the features, most of which you've got no interest in. He's like, yeah, and there's this and this and this. I went, oh, TikTok, uninstall. Snapchat, uninstall. Instagram, uninstall. Twitter, uninstall. So, no, but why? Because I'm not going to use them. They're just a waste of memory. I don't do those. And it just looked at me like it was some kind of alien concept that I don't do all the social medias. And that was back when I still did Facelake. I don't even do that anymore. I see enough ads on YouTube. I don't want to see them on Facebook. Instagram and Discord beside YouTube, turned off notifications for both. Yeah, I had Discord on my old phone, but I never really got into it or got it. It didn't really do anything for me. People look funny. Yeah, I get it fairly regularly. Oh, Oh, have you got an Instagram? No. Oh, you probably get quite a lot of views on Instagram. Maybe, but I wouldn't be making money off of it. Huh? Just the look of shock and surprise on people's faces when you say, "Yeah, I make money off of YouTube." They're like, "What? You can do that?" Yeah, that's why people do it. Especially the big channels. It's what they do for a living. To me, it's just a little top up every now and then. Yeah, doesn't even cover my water bill. Making money is a good waste of time when I have to be quiet. Do I find a gooning discourse? I didn't look because it wasn't like really obvious. That was the thing with Discord. Is I tried it. I was like, none of this is intuitive or obvious. It's all weird icons that mean nothing. And you try and do something, and you're like, put this in this program so you can adjust it to this, and then you can upload it. I don't want to do that. I just want to upload a picture of a fish. Don't worry, they updated it and made it even more confusing. Yeah, exactly. It's like they don't want to have older people using it. It's like the girl who asked, "Why is the save icon in Excel a picture of a vending machine with a drink at the bottom, with a drinks bottle at the bottom?" And you look at it and you go, "No, that's a floppy disk. That's how long Excel's been around for. Why the save icon is a floppy disk." Now, if there was a social media thing aimed specifically at Gen X, where all the stuff was sensible and laid out in a sensible manner and had no actual words for what things were rather than icons, things that didn't even look like something you can click on, then I would go for it. Yeah, yeah. Pretty much these days it's just YouTube and occasionally trundle through Reddit to see if there's anything interesting happening. Normally just to look at bunny rabbits, to be honest. Although we did see an absolutely adorable lion head lop when we were in the fish store earlier. So picture floppy lop-eared rabbit with a big floofy head and mane. Got an IP ban from Discord, don't worry. Yeah, this is also the thing with a lot of social media these days is basically you're not allowed an opinion and people don't have a sense of humor. Use a VPN. And I know the VP is visual panty. VPL is visual panty line, but what's a VPN? Visual panty necrosis. I know it's virtual private network, but If you're not doing any dodgy stuff, you don't need it. Kind of simple that way. If you don't fill your device up with a whole bunch of apps and click on a bunch of random stuff, you tend not to get viruses and malware and Trojans. Yeah, I think switch so you can watch Amazon Prime UK. Must be bad in Austria then. So the last time I looked at Amazon Prime UK, it was basically all paid for. So yes, we know you're paying for this already, but here, if you want to watch this, you have to pay more. It's like, let me look at TV series. Okay, 24 episodes. You won't be paying that much an episode. Or I can go onto your website and order the box set for less than half of that, and have all the extra features and have an actual solid copy that I can then sell. Yeah, no brainer. Yeah, that is the thing. But as I say, I don't tend to watch. I think the last thing I watched on Amazon Prime was like season 4 of Arrow, or maybe season 5 of Grimm, or something like that. And I think I got halfway through. No, it was Sleepy Hollow. That was it. And I got about halfway through the third season of that, and then it told me I needed to pay for it. I was like, no, thank you. I will leave it. Allegedly, this website will get you free movies and TV shows. I'm aware of that site. It's not that I've got to pay for them. It's just, you know, if I'm sitting there and I go, I want to watch a video or a show about such and such a subject, I can type it into YouTube and guarantee I'll find several videos on it, all for free. Although I am getting more and more tempted to go and just click on the yes, I would like YouTube Premium, thank you very much. Because the amount of ads are getting ridiculous. And the amount of, you watch a 15-minute video and you got 3 sets of adverts and you can't skip them after 5 seconds anymore. You go, oh, there it is, click, and no, it's not skip, that's next. Right. In a 1 minute ad break, you get like 5 different adverts for things you're not interested in. Sorry, I thought this whole algorithm thing was supposed to be showing me things I'm interested in. Big expensive cars, kiddies' diapers, women's perfume, dog food. Why? Rather watch YouTube, write some BS, while watching my fish. Yeah, I mean, so recently the main things I've watched, because the endurance racing season has started up again. So I watched the 24 hours of Abu Dhabi, the 6 hours of Qatar, then 24 hours at Daytona. Then next will be 12 hours of Bathurst. Then it won't be too long till the World Endurance and the European Le Mans Series start up again. Actually, we've had the first round of the Asia Le Mans Series, so that will probably be next. And you add to that random naval documentaries and epic fail videos. Kind of fills my viewing time up. And most of the time I'll be doing something else while that's on as well. So, oh, and then the audio books, which I use for napping during the day. Usually we'll have a 40k lore or horror stories. Yeah, don't stick a video on about the Night Lord's Legion after you've eaten blue cheese before you're going to have a nap. That doesn't end well. That results in some really weird dreams. Blue cheese and the most psychotic space marines there are. Well, no, not psychotic. They're that'd be the world eaters. Most twisted and depraved, I think, is probably the way to go. Oh, pardon me. Ooh. Getting a bit windy. Yeah, I'll say premium is something I'm going to probably end up doing fairly soon. At this point, I'm just getting sick of having to click next. It's one reason why I stopped watching a lot of TV is I got sick of the adverts. I need a cold snack smoker. And making content for my naked yoga channel. Yes, there is that one. But I did have to put that on OnlyFans. Now there will be someone who's accidentally tuned in for that, and first thing they'll hear about it is a naked yoga OnlyFans channel. Which, let's be honest, look at me. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see me stretching in the nude. It'd be like a beluga. Run. Priscilla, darling, thank you so much. How the devil are you? There's weird people in here, Raina. I don't need to go out to find the weird people. I am the weird people. I'll put the groceries away, but listening. Well, happy Sunday to you too, my dear. And thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Give the X-Man a fist bump for me. I know he likes his fist bumps from his weird English friend. You do know if he goes to college or university, I'm going to start calling him Professor X, right? And then obviously any files of paperwork he has that he brings home will be the X files. As opposed to the ones that Pete Doherty used to bring home. Oh dear, we'll best leave that joke aside before anyone gets it. Sam probably has. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, so back to the. Oh, it's high fives now, is it? High five for the X-Man. If we've moved on from fist bumps to high fives. And down low as well. yeah, so the weird people. The times I get people ask me, well, don't you feel weird like going around graveyards and stuff? You know, there are weird people that hang out in graveyards. It's quite scary. I'm like, I am the weird person hanging about in the graveyard. I fit in quite well in graveyards. They're my kind of people. Yeah. They're not customers. They tend to just leave me be. Might let me know they're there, but that's about it. So I really am going to have to cut my nails at some point. I think I've proved the point that I can grow my nails better than the women at work can. Yes, graveyards are attached to churches. Well, we'd call it a churchyard or a graveyard, but yes, cemeteries tend to have a chapel of rest in them rather than a church or an actual chapel. Whichever way, they're both full of some of the coolest people you'll ever meet. Certainly the most disinterested. It's just the way it. I was going to say it's the way of life, but it's the way of unlife. And even when I was a kid, I was absolutely fine in graveyards or cemeteries or churchyards. It never bothered me in the slightest. And hey, where are you most likely to find a goth girl? That would be an interesting episode of How I Met Your Mother, wouldn't it? Yeah, that wouldn't. Yeah. First time I was introduced to the devil's lettuce was in a cemetery with a goth chick in my friend's lifted truck. Oh, how to make it sound American right at the end. Yeah. And people look at goths like, oh, they're weird. Yeah, generally, goths are actually really quite interesting people. Normally quite well read. Usually have interesting careers as well. Although these days the term goth seems to have evolved into something that isn't goth. Cyber goth. The way I used to describe myself was industrial goth. So like gothic and industrial music. These days I'm just an old rocker. Yeah, I just want to hang out in peace. Exactly. And the people who end up in cemeteries, graveyards, whatever, tend to have the same kind of interests or pastimes. So if you do bump into someone in a graveyard and you actually have a conversation rather than just an awkward morning, evening, they can be very interesting chats. It all depends on what kind of grave rubbing they're doing. The kind with a big piece of paper and a wax crayon or wax block or charcoal. Yeah. The other kind of grave rubbing, you just stay away from. Oh, pardon me. Wax crayon is redundant. No, because you can get a pastel crayon. I've got some chalk crayons. Priscilla is the perfect person to answer that, being the artiste that she is. But yeah, there's all sorts of different crayons. They don't have to be wax. In fact, I work with someone we call Crayon. Old graves are shallow compared to nowadays because they realised that in the older days they weren't so worried about preserving people, which I never got that whole preserve the body, put it in a casket lined with lead that's like sealed. What do you think you're going to do? Once you plant them, they're gone. The meat sack is useless. The essence of what they were is not in there anymore. Prevent zombies, duh. Oh, I saw a good meme this morning. My kids keep asking me to get a cat. Tonight we're going to watch Pet Cemetery. But yeah, that'll put them off getting a cat. They want a St. Bernard. Let's watch Cujo. Working as a gardener, I had to rebed them after planting new plants in Salzburg. That could be ground settling as well, or just because soil and earth does not stay still. It does very slowly over time with the actions of worms and weather and rain and all sorts. It does move, so it's possible for graves to come up in the ground. And if it erodes from the top down as well. There's one South America, Central America. Can't remember where exactly. It was somewhere in that part of the world where they had a rainstorm and it literally washed off the top 6 inches of soil and revealed all the graves. And they had the issue because the graveyard went right down to a river and it flooded and lots of coffins started floating away down the river. So they had to go and corral all the coffins with the bodies in. It's kind of grim but funny at the same time. Yeah, exactly. It moves upwards, which is the reason we bury them so deep these days. Saw this documentary on a guy that built a house in an old Indian graveyard. They didn't move the bodies and hijinks ensued. Was that by any chance called the Amityville Horror? Or one of any number of other horror movies where that is the base premise? Where, you know, people build new houses on top of old graveyards. I mean, it's a good premise for a horror movie, but after a few, they start getting very samey. What I want to see is the one where, yes, they build the house on the old graveyard and ghosts ensue, but the ghosts are friendly and nothing bad actually happens. The house is haunted, but yeah, nothing real bad happens. Someone like me moves in and goes, "Oh yeah, there's ghosts. Oh, hello." People would probably say it wasn't realistic, and then get told to come and watch some of my videos. But yeah, not everyone is petrified of ghosts, mate. Old Church and I's got some big skull collections. We don't show them off in the UK, but yeah, lots of. I mean, there are churches around here with people buried in the walls. Yes, the walls are that thick. You can have a grave inside or under the wall. I think that's dead. I mean, I think the reason for under the walls was to stop them getting out. There's an Eastern European thing where they would bury suspected vampires or people they thought might rise from the dead, and would bury them under the city walls. So not consecrated ground. But if they did try and get out of the grave, there's a honking great wall on top of them. So they're not getting out. No. Better than the older nunneries, where they excavated or investigated some of the old nunneries and found dozens of fetal skeletons inside the walls. Yeah, stake through the heart wasn't to kill it, but to prevent it. Yeah. It comes, I think, originally came from staking them into the coffin with iron nails or wooden stakes, so that they couldn't, if they did want to rise, as it were, they couldn't, because they were nailed into the coffin quite literally. Yeah, that's dead. Yeah, pipe done. Yeah, this is it. We think of like all the myths and the vampire myth and the werewolf legend and all these things as coming from sort of the Victorian era, but they go way further back than that. There are evidence of like Mesopotamians and Assyrians and all them really old, ye olde sort of, civilizations, and they had similar folklore and stories. So, I mean, admittedly, a lot of it probably came from burying people alive accidentally. People either in a coma or just unconscious, and they got people in the ground very quickly back in those days. So yeah, probably, so it wasn't uncommon for people to come to or wake up in their coffin, and then of course dig the coffin up however much later or accidentally uncover it, and there's scratch marks on the inside of the coffin lid. Oh, must have been a vampire. No, you just buried someone alive is all. That's dark, isn't it? Why is it making me hungry? I'm weird. That's why. Oh, there's another big old pleck we missed. Never mind. Only be another couple of weeks and we'll get rid of a bunch more pleccos and limia and snails. And on Tuesday, when I do the water changes, that tank is going to be empty. And the inhabitants are going to go into the bottom tank. Then the next one we start working from will be that one. Yeah, that's why we wait a few days. Since we've got doctors, yeah. I mean, even then, and even now, they can't fully agree on how to tell someone is dead. Because people's hearts can stop and they can still be alive. People can stop breathing and still come back from it. There's no real definitive instant way of telling. Because we can revive people these days. I mean, we've moved on. Doctors no longer prescribe adult toys to women for hysteria. I personally think it was just doctors being pervs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, either of them is a particularly nasty way to go. The brazen bull is horrific. Basically put inside a bronze statue of a bull and then it's put over a fire so you cook alive. Yeah, that's not going to be good. Yeah, buried alive is probably going to be quicker because you're going to run out of oxygen a lot faster than you're going to cook. Good old days, yes. Gents, imagine these days if you're better a toy than a lobotomy, exactly. Ask the Kennedys. I bet they'd have preferred that she came back with a toy. Yeah, but imagine it. Your better half goes to the doctor. Comes back with a vibrator. That's not going to do a lot for your self-esteem, is it? Let's be honest. Too soon. It is not too soon. When Justin Trudeau is quoting Kennedy, it's not too soon. When I say Kennedy, I mean John F., not any of the others. Certainly not Bobby or Robert Kennedy. No, Bobby Kennedy. Bob. Yeah. Thankfully, stop lobotomizing people. Although in some cases it might be a good idea. I think some people might have been lobotomized already. I mean, it does turn you into a drooling idiot most of the time, so there's fair evidence for that happening. Oh dear. How do we end up on? I've given up wondering how we get on the subjects here. I remember when I started doing this and we talked about fish for an hour or two. Oh, God. Now we've gone from dog breeds to goth chicks to graveyards to ancient European burial practices to lobotomies and sex toys. I mean, come on, that's not a bad mix of subject matter, is it? I think we safely say there's no other stream quite like this on YouTube. It's probably why it only gets maybe a dozen viewers at most. Waiting for the Elon chip so we can all get mind controlled. Jeff. Might be quite amusing. Dump my conscious into a mainframe with everyone else's and see just how messed up things get. Definitely be interesting to see what happened if they used my conscious to run an AI. Jaffa. That's a bit too close to Jaffa. Oh dear, you don't hear anyone called that these days, do you? It used to be that if anyone had a vasectomy, they would instantly get the nickname Jaffa. And if you don't understand why, it's because the Jaffa orange is seedless. That was their main selling point back in the day. Oh God, we're going in even weirder directions with this chat, aren't we? Right, well, my drink's dead, my pipe's dead, and my belly's empty, and I need a piddle. Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, so I think I'm going to call it here because I do need a piddle and something to eat because my stomach is rumbling. You can probably hear it. So thanks to everyone for turning up. I shall endeavour to get a fishy video uploaded this week. But yeah, thanks to everyone for being here, showing up, taking part. Thank you very much for Priscilla for the super chat. Yeah. Have a great week. Stay safe. Peace out. Get well soon, marry. Bye bye. Rock on. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Plecos rock do 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 do. Plecos rock do 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 do. Plecos rock do 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 do. Arr.